Hello, dear listeners, and welcome back to Book Summary 5, the 5-Minute Summary channel. I'm Sammy, your host. Today, we're diving into Human Acts by Kang, originally published in Korean in 2014 and translated into English in 2016. Although you might be familiar with it under different titles in various translations, such as A Boy is Coming, the story remains the same. A haunting, visceral exploration of the 1980 Gwangju Uprising in South Korea and its emotional aftermath. This is a novel of memory, trauma, and the quiet strength of those who survive unthinkable violence. Let's dive in, so you'll feel like you've read it cover to cover. The novel opens with a boy named Dong-ho. He's 15 years old and searching for the body of his friend Jong-dae, who was shot during the protest. Dong-ho isn't an activist. He's a quiet kid who just wants to help. Volunteering at a local gymnasium where the bodies of those killed are being brought, cataloged, and claimed, Dong-ho carefully records names and helps family members find their dead. The horror is overwhelming, bodies piled high, the stench of death suffocating, but through it all, Dong-ho maintains his compassion and dignity. In this first chapter, we see the brutality of the state response, but we also witness the humanity that persists even in the darkest moments. From there, the narrative fractures. Each subsequent chapter is told from a different perspective, each linked to Dong-ho, but removed in time and consciousness. Jong-dae, Dong-ho's dead friend, narrates a chapter from beyond the grave, floating in a liminal space between life and death, reliving the moment of his execution and the desecration of his body. His voice is innocent, tragic, and full of longing, and this section pierces the reader's heart with its quiet sorrow. We also meet a young woman who worked alongside Dong-ho in the gymnasium, years later, now trying to live with what she witnessed. She's lost her voice, not metaphorically, but literally. Her trauma has stolen it from her. She navigates the world with silence, and through her, we see the cost of memory, the way trauma roots itself in the body. Another chapter is told from the perspective of an editor being harassed by government censors for publishing a book about the uprising. He reflects on how history is rewritten by the powerful, how truth is buried beneath layers of fear and repression. His fight is not in the streets, but on the page, an act of resistance through documentation. Dong-ho's mother has her say, too. Decades after her son's death, she visits his grave and mourns not only the loss of her child, but the silence that followed. She wonders what his life might have been like had he lived. Her grief is heavy, but her chapter is also one of the most grounded and human. It reminds us that behind every political tragedy is a personal one, multiplied hundreds and thousands of times. The novel culminates in a return to the writer herself, or at least a stand-in for Kang. She visits Gwangju, speaks to survivors, and confronts the task of telling this story. Her presence reminds us that Human Acts is not just fiction. It's rooted in truth. Kang herself lived in Gwangju for a time as a child. She didn't witness the massacre, but she absorbed its echoes, the hush, the shame, the unspoken history. Throughout the novel, violence is never sensationalized. It's physical, yes, and often graphic, but it's always in service of showing the full cost of state brutality, not just in broken bodies, but in fractured lives. Kang uses spare, lyrical prose to capture enormous emotional weight. Her sentences are precise and elegant, and the shifting perspectives never feel gimmicky. They reveal the long arc of grief and the quiet endurance of those left behind. The title Human Acts, or A Boy is Coming, reflects the dual focus of the book. It is both a collective narrative and an intimate one. It asks, what does it mean to be human in the face of inhumanity? How do we carry the weight of memory? What are the responsibilities of the living to the dead? Kang doesn't offer easy answers, but she does offer witness. And in a world where silence is so often enforced, that act of witnessing, of remembering, is its own quiet revolution. Thank you for tuning in to Book Summary 5, the 5-Minute Summary channel. If this powerful story moved you, please subscribe, like, and share it with your friends. Until next time, happy reading.